Teachers build learners, and teacher education builds teachers. No education system can rise above the quality of its teachers. That is why teacher education is one of the most important topics for UGC NET because it directly deals with preparation, development, and professionalism of teachers. In this lesson, we are going to study the various aspects involved in teacher education. So with that, welcome to Unit 4, Teacher Education. In this unit, we'll be discussing the conceptual framework of teacher education, knowledge base and models of teacher education, in-service teacher education, professionalism and innovation. So moving forward, our first topic is conceptual framework of teacher education, under which we'll be discussing the meaning, nature and scope of teacher education. So what exactly does teacher education mean? Okay, first let us see the meaning of teacher education. Right? So teacher education, it is the systematic professional preparation. Teacher education means the systematic professional preparation of individuals to become capable teachers. Okay, so what is it? It is systematic and professional preparation of those individuals who want to become future teachers. So it includes their development of subject mastery, their pedagogical skills for instructions, understanding of learners and the learning process in the classroom, classroom organization and management, ethical commitment, attitudes for professionalism and leadership. So this is the meaning of teacher education. Now if you look at the nature of teacher education. What is the nature of teacher education? That there should be professionalism. Teaching is a specialized occupation requiring formal certification. So there should be professionalism, or you can say professional. Okay, so teaching, it is a kind of a specialized occupation for which you need a formal certification. Only if you have a formal certification, you will become a good and better teacher in your classroom. And there should be continuous preparation. It does not end with recruitment. Okay, so it continues throughout the service life. So you keep learning something or the other throughout your life. It is not a one-time learning. The next one is integrated, that is theory and practice. They are both linked together. You cannot study theory and practice in isolation. So therefore you have a integrated course here. Okay. Then it is dynamic. Why is it dynamic? Because it responds to the social change and the technological advancements. Therefore, we call it dynamic. So based on the changes in the society, the education also changes. Therefore, teacher education brings in all these components of the society. Now, if you look at the scope of teacher education, okay, scope of teacher education. So it covers elementary, wait, I'll write it here. It covers elementary teacher education, okay, then secondary teacher education, then senior secondary and higher education, senior secondary and higher education, teacher education. Okay, then you also have in-service trainings. Even if you become a teacher, you still need to work on your knowledge, professionally build yourself. That is where in-service training comes into picture, right? Then you also have educational leadership preparation. Educational leadership. So it prepares you to become a leader also. So these are the various aspects when we talk about the scope of teacher education, right? Then how many types of teacher education programs do we have? So teacher education, it is primarily of two types. It is primarily of two types. We have pre-service teacher education and we have in-service teacher education. So what is pre-service? It refers to the preparation before appointment. So it is preparation before appointment, that is before you become a teacher. The training that you go through is your pre-service teacher education. So this includes for example DLED, okay, diploma in elementary education. Then you have BEd or you have MEd, okay. Then you might have this 4 years integrated courses such as BA BEd or BSc BEd, okay. So these kind of integrated courses also you can have. Now again, if we talk about in-service teacher education, it refers to continuing professional development after appointment. Continuing professional development after you are appointed as a teacher, okay. So after appointment. Then in this you have your orientation programs, okay. Before, now you have taken your pre-service training, you are joining a school. So when you are joining a school, they will give you a basic orientation of what the school is, how it functions, what is its structure and all that. So that is orientation you receive. Then you also have refresher courses, okay. You have refresher courses, you have workshops, you can also have online courses. So these are some ways that you can professionally develop yourself once you are recruited, okay. The next topic is structure of teacher education curriculum. So the national vision for teacher preparation is guided by NCERT, okay. So the vision for teacher preparedness is guided by NCERT, that is National Council of Educational Research and Training, plus NCTE. So they both collaborate. NCTE is National Council for Teacher Education. So they both release the documents. Based on this, we form the teacher education curriculum. So the curriculum structure is composed of foundational courses, Now these foundational courses will include your philosophy, psychology, sociology, right, of education. Then apart from these foundational courses, you also have pedagogical courses. So teaching of the subject discipline. So if you are opting for English, then your pedagogy will be based on English, social, science, maths, okay. Then practicum. So it is not only theoretically learning it, but also practicing it. So it involves micro teaching, writing lesson plans, having supervised classroom practices. Now once you have had basic training in your institution, then you have internships. Now in these internships, what happens, you have extended stay at a school and you get the real life experience of being a teacher in a school for that particular period of time. Then you also have field engagement activities. What you have? Field engagement activities. What do they mean? They mean any community surveys, the school observation studies, like going into the field and actually involving and communicating there, right? So then you also have skill enhancement courses. Skill enhancement courses. So all your communication skills, your ICT, inclusive education, all of this is part of skill enhancement courses, right? The next one, vision of curriculum at different levels. Now let us see what is the focus at each level. So at elementary level, the first one is child psychology. What is it? Child psychology. We want to understand our learner because they are just stepping into school. So we want to understand what kind of learner he is. The next one is multilingual development. So we want the child to know as many languages as possible at this early age. Okay, multilingual development we want. Then we want early literacy and numeracy. Curriculum should focus on early numeracy and literacy. Then there should be inclusive education, right? All children should be given the right to be in the classrooms. Then it should be more activity based pedagogy. Okay, only kids in this age, they are very curious, so if you give them activities to do, only then their learning would improve. When they are touching something, okay, when they are making something, or when all of this experiential learning will provide them greater understanding of what they are learning. So our curriculum should be activity based pedagogy, right? Then now once they grow up a little, when they are in the secondary level, our focus is on subject pedagogical practice. Our focus is on subject pedagogical mastery. Subject mastery. We want the kid to learn subjects now. Okay. Then there is adolescent learner psychology we are understanding here. Adolescent learner psychology we try to understand. Then we have different assessment processes in this stage. We want to understand how much our learner is able to retain and understand the information that is being provided to him or her. Then we want ICT based learning techniques. Okay, so to equip with the 21st century skills and to bring in technology into our classrooms. Next is higher secondary and higher education level. Here the focus is on advanced pedagogy. Okay, focus is on advanced pedagogy. Then it is evaluation design. Evaluation design, the different ways in which we evaluate. Then the curriculum development. Okay, curriculum development, how it should be developed and how it has to be developed for different stages. Then educational research skill should also be introduced. Educational research skills. Okay. The next one is organization of pre-service teacher education components. So pre-service training, it integrates theoretical knowledge. It integrates theoretical knowledge, that is educational philosophy, psychology, sociology, those three. Okay. Then pedagogical content training. Okay, so we want them to have theoretical knowledge. We want them to know how to teach that subject. So they should have pedagogical content training. Then teaching practice and micro teaching. Teaching practice, this is the practical aspect, and training, that is the internship that they go through, and micro teaching, right? The next one is there should be school internship. There should be school internship and there should be community fieldwork. Community fieldwork. So all of these are the various components while we design our pre-service teacher education curriculum. So we should have, the teachers should have theoretical knowledge, the pedagogical skills they should know, there should be teaching practice and the micro teaching, there should be school internship, community fieldwork. So all of this will give a very broad understanding to the person who is being trained to become a teacher. So this balanced structure, it ensures that there is holistic teacher preparation. Next one is transactional approaches. So there is expository approach. Expository approach. What it means? It is more teacher-centered teaching method. It is teacher-centered teaching method, and it uses lectures and demonstrations. Lectures and demonstrations. right, for systematic content delivery. So that is one transactional method. That is how you teach in your classroom. One more is collaborative approach. Collaborative approach. Here what happens, learners, they work in small groups. They collaborate with each other. So they work in small groups for discussions. Okay, there can be discussions, there can be debates, there can be role plays, right? There can be problem solving or peer learning, right? So by collaborating, they will learn from each other, they will work together and build that team spirit also. Next one is experiential learning, right? Experiential learning. So what happens here? They are learning by doing. They are experiencing it. Learning by doing. So all your school internship, classroom simulations, the community projects that they do, observation studies and teaching internship, all of that is part of experiential learning. Okay. So experiential learning is giving the exposure of real life situation. Okay. So when we are transactional approach for teacher education is, first there should be expository approach. It is more teacher centered. Teacher is telling them how it should be through lectures and demonstrations. Then they once the teacher has given them a briefing, they will collaborate with each other in small groups, try to work together and then come up with their learnings. Once that is done, they are going for experiential learning, that is learning by doing. They'll be going for school internship, the classroom simulations or community projects. So all of this is the practical aspect of teacher education. So they have both theory and practice. Our next topic is knowledge base and models of teacher education. So first one is Shulman's knowledge base of teaching. So Lee Shulman, he proposed that effective teaching requires multiple knowledge bases. He said that effective teaching, what it requires? Multiple knowledge bases. It requires multiple knowledge bases. So he included content knowledge. Okay, so a teacher should have content knowledge. Content knowledge is the mastery of the subject matter. So whatever subject they are teaching, they should have good content knowledge about that subject. The next one is pedagogical content knowledge. Pedagogical content knowledge. You can write this as PCK. Okay, so what is it? It is the ability to transform subject matter into teachable formats. So how it is being transacted in the classroom, how it should be done, how to make the child understand this concept is the pedagogical aspect of it. So the teacher should have pedagogical content knowledge also. Then they should have curriculum knowledge. What should they have? They should have curriculum knowledge. That is familiarity with the textbook and the syllabus that they are following. So only if the teacher knows that what is there in the textbook, what is the syllabus, how it is arranged, how many chapters are there, only then the teacher will be able to arrange her classroom or decide what to teach when in a very better manner. Okay. The next one is learner knowledge. What is it? It is learner knowledge. What is learner knowledge? It is awareness of the learner's diversity. So understanding how each and every particular child in the classroom learns. What is their learning pattern? How often they need different activities or how they can learn in a better way. So a teacher should have very good understanding of her learners. Then they should have instructional knowledge. Instructional knowledge. Now, what is instructional knowledge? It is the classroom teaching strategies, okay, how to transact in a classroom. So Shulman's major contribution was the concept of pedagogical content knowledge, okay, that is PCK. And teachers must not only know what to teach, but they should also know how to teach it effectively. So Shulman's major contribution was concept of pedagogical content knowledge, PCK. So what he said, teachers should not only know what to teach is not our only concern, but how to teach it is also our concern, right? So teachers should know what to teach and how to teach it effectively. Both of these aspects makes them a very good teacher. Next is Deng and Luke's perspective. So they argued that teacher knowledge is not purely technical knowledge. Okay, they said whatever teaching knowledge you have, it is not purely technical. That means instead it is socially constructed and context dependent. Okay, but it is socially constructed and context dependent, right? So teachers continuously adapt methods based on the classroom realities, the needs of the students and community context rather than their fixed prescriptions. So based on the changing needs of the society, the teacher will also change her method of teaching. That is what Deng and Luke's perspective was. Next is Habermas knowledge interests. So Habermas, he classified knowledge into three interests. He classified knowledge into three interests. What are they? They are technical knowledge, practical knowledge and emancipatory knowledge. Technical knowledge, then practical knowledge and emancipatory knowledge. What do they mean? Technical knowledge is the skills and efficiency that the teacher has. It is the skills and efficiency. Practical knowledge is the social interaction understanding. Doing it on their own, okay, once they go into the field. Social interaction, all the internship and practical aspect we have in teacher education is the practical knowledge. Then emancipatory knowledge, that is critical reflection aimed at social transformation. It is the critical reflection aimed at social transformation. It is the critical reflection aimed at social transformation. So teacher education should develop all these three forms to create skilled, socially conscious professionals. Okay. So teacher education should concentrate on developing technical knowledge, practical knowledge and emancipatory knowledge. Next is reflective teaching. What is reflective teaching? It is the process where teachers continuously examine their teaching practice. Teachers, they examine their teaching practice. How do they do it? They ask questions such as, what did I teach today? How did I teach it? Did the learners respond the way that they did? So they ask certain questions to themselves such as, what did I teach in class today? How did I teach it? So why did the learners respond the way that they did? How can I improve my teaching? So reflective teaching is basically whatever you have done in the class. After you finish your class, you ask yourself, what did I do today? How did it go? What I could improve? What went well? So all of those are reflective teaching. So if I could identify at least one thing that did not go well in my today's class, I can try to improve it in the next one. Okay, so it is not that in one day there will be a major change in how I am doing it. But over a period of time, if I keep practicing it, it will get better. So reflective teaching helps us to reflect on what we are doing in the classroom and to improve our performance. Now, what strategies promote reflective teaching? Okay, so you should have teachers should have teaching diaries and journals where they can write what happened in their classroom today. Okay, then they should do some kind of action research. If they find something that is not right in the classroom, okay, they can take up a small action research and try to fix that problem. Then there can be peer observation feedback, so teachers can help each other. Okay, there could be peer learning that is happening, so peer observation feedback. Then you can self evaluate yourself. So next one is self evaluation. Then you can have, if you are not able to understand how to do it, you can also approach people who are doing well, so that you can have some kind of mentorship. Okay, mentorship. Then reflection transforms teachers into professional decision makers rather than mechanically teaching in the classroom. So because of this reflective practices, once you start understanding what is happening in your classroom, you will be able to make decisions for your classroom rather than just following whatever content is given to you mechanically, irrespective of understanding if the child is able to learn it or not. Okay, so if you have this reflective practice, you will be able to make changes and help students learn better. The next one is models of teacher education. The first one is behavioristic model. What is that? It is teachers are trained through skill drilling and reinforcement. So skill drilling and reinforcement. Then teaching skills are for doing this, the teaching skills are broken into micro skills. Okay, the micro teaching that you have. Once they are broken into micro skills, they are made to practice them again and again. Before they practice it as a whole, they practice it in parts. The limitation of this is it promotes routinization and minimal reflection. Okay, limitation is it promotes routinization and minimal reflection on what you are doing. Because you are making it a habit or you are making it a behavior. You are not trying to learn or reflect on what you are doing more. So it is a very minimal reflection process, behavioristic model. Then you have competency-based model. The next one is competency-based model. What does that mean? Here, training focuses on mastery of specific teaching competencies. So, you are mastering specific teaching competencies. Now, these competencies includes your lesson plan, your presentation skills, or your questioning strategy, or evaluation skills. Certification depends here on the skill mastery demonstration. So once you have learned the skill, if you have learned how to make a lesson plan, okay, for you to get a certificate, you should be able to demonstrate that skill to get certified. Okay, that is competency-based model. Next one is inquiry oriented model. Inquiry oriented model. What is this? Here teachers develop research orientation and reflective competency. They develop research orientation. They develop research orientation and reflective competency. Okay, so the classroom inquiry or action research and continuous reflection here guides practice. Okay, so it is more practical approach. So here research is the major component. So this model is aligned with professional autonomy, how the teacher wants to develop his or her skills, because it is giving a very vast scope for teacher to conduct research in her classroom or to have this reflective practices in the classroom. So it is more it is giving more autonomy to the teacher, right? Next one is in-service teacher education system. So let us understand what is the meaning and need of this in-service teacher education system. So in-service teacher education refers to professional development. It is professional development after employment. Professional development after employment. That is, it is used or it is required to upgrade our pedagogical expertise or introduce modern technology in the classroom or update our curriculum knowledge and improve the teaching quality. So for better learning outcomes, for improving ourselves, for getting ourselves equipped with the new techniques that are being used, we need in-service teacher training. So it is basically for professional development once you have started working. So what is the purpose and scope of this? It helps in enhancing skills. Okay, so skill enhancement. Then it helps in continuous learning. Learning does not stop once you get employed. You have continuous learning until you are a teacher. You keep learning something or the other every day. Then educational innovation adoption. So whatever innovative practices are going on, okay, educational innovation. To understand all these innovative practices and for us to adopt it, we need in-service teacher education. Then quality assurance. To improve or to better our classroom teaching and learning, to improve the quality of teaching and to improve the quality of learning, we need in-service training. Now, what are the different modes through which in-service education can take place? Right? It is through orientation program. Orientation. You can have refresher courses. You can have workshops, right? You can have workshops, you can have online coaching. Okay, if you want to learn some courses online, you can do that as well. And you can also have peer coaching. If your other teacher in the school knows how to conduct a method, you can learn from each other as well. Okay. Then what are the agencies and institutions of teacher education? So we'll discuss them at three levels. One is district level, state level, and at the national level. Let us start with the district level first. The first one will be SSA, that is Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, right? So here training programs for elementary teachers under Universal Education Mission is provided, right? It is SSA is basically for elementary teacher education. So we provide training for elementary teachers, and because there is this law of universal education mission, so in combination with that or to fulfill that, we provide this elementary teacher education. Then we also have diets at district level. What are diets? They are District Institute of Education and Training. So these diets, they provide both pre-service and in-service training at the district level. They provide both pre and in-service training at the district level. Now at the state level, you have SCERT. SCERT. It is State Council of Educational Research and Training. So what they do, they design curriculum, textbooks and teacher training at the state level. Curriculum, then textbooks, curriculum, textbooks and teacher training. All of these three at the state level, right? Now at the national level you have NCERT. NCERT is National Council of Educational Research and Training. They develop national curriculum framework and teacher professional development programs. So they bring in national curriculum frameworks and teacher professional development programs. Apart from NCERT, you also have NCTE, that is National Council for Teacher Education. What they do, it is a national statutory body and it regulates teacher education institutions and setting training standards. So it regulates teacher education institutions, regulates them and sets training standards. And sets up the training standards in these institutions. The next one is UGC. UGC is University Grants Commission. So it organizes orientation and refresher programs for higher education teachers and it regulates university education standards. What it does, it conducts refresher plus orientation. For whom? For higher education teachers, okay, and it also regulates university education standards. It regulates university education standards, right? So these are the institutions at national level. Then how do we plan in-service training? So while planning in-service training, the key considerations include what is the purpose of this training. Okay, the first one is the purpose. So it targets what skill we are trying to teach, what competencies we are trying to build. So based on that, our training will be developed. So first thing is we need to understand the purpose of the training, for what we are providing this training. Then the duration, for how long will this training go on. Okay, it is the time allocated for that particular training program. Then what resources do we require? What resources do we require? Resources such as the faculty that is required for the training or whatever training materials are required, the infrastructure where this training will go on. So all that comes under resource. The most important one is the budget. So funding and sustainability, right? So how much budget we are trying to get or how to get these funds is also a concern. So to plan your in-service training, these four are important. You should know for what you are giving this training, for how long will you give it, what resources you require, and how will you arrange for the budget. Then the next and last topic in this unit is professionalism and innovation. So here first we'll talk about profession and professionalism, right? So a profession requires specialized training. What does a profession require? It requires a specialized training. Once you have this specialized training, you should have ethical commitment to what you are doing. Ethical commitment. Then you should have service orientation. Now becoming a teacher is a kind of service, so you should have the service orientation. It is not for the money that you are doing it, it is for changing the lives of the students. Then you should have continuous development. Once you step into a profession, it is your duty to keep up with the trends that are coming in. So continuous development should happen. And then the teaching so you need all of this to become a good teacher or to be called a professional. Now if we see teaching as a profession, So teachers exercise expertise, autonomy and professional responsibility while they affect the society directly. So teacher is shaping the future society. So they are directly affecting. So therefore they should have expertise in what they are doing. They should have autonomy to decide how they want to teach and improve the learning of the students, and they should have professional responsibility. Professional responsibility. So once the teacher has all of this, the teacher affects the society. And this effect, it is direct. Okay. So therefore the teacher should be very mindful of what is going on in the classroom and should have good positive examples to give it to students so that they turn out to be better citizens of tomorrow. The next one is professional ethics. So the ethics demand that the teacher has integrity. The teacher should have impartial assessment, should not favor any particular child. There should be impartial assessment and there should be respect for the learners. Respect for learners. Okay. Then you should have commitment to truth. Commitment to truth and the ability or the what do you call, and the ability for continuous learning. Continuous learning. So all of these are part of your professional ethics. Then what are the factors that affect teacher development? You have two in this. Okay, one is personal factor, the other one is contextual factor. Personal factor, contextual factor. So what is personal factor? It is the intrinsic motivation, confidence, the outlook they have. Okay, you can say confidence. Okay, the motivation or the outlook they have towards their profession. All of these are personal factors. Contextual factors are what kind of school they are working in, what is the school culture, how is the leadership in the school, how is the professional environment. All of these also affect teacher development. So, school culture, the kind of leadership that is there in the school, and the professional environment. The next one is ICT integration. What do you mean by ICT integration? It is the use of smart classrooms, use of smart classrooms, all the smart boards that you see in classrooms these days. So smart classrooms, then digital content platforms, digital content platforms that are being used in school, then the learning management system that we use, learning management system, and the online assessments. All of these are part of your ICT integration. Then how do we ensure quality enhancement? So this quality enhancement measures include enhancing the training programs, enhancing training programs, then performance standards should be improved. Performance standards of teachers should be improved. Okay, only if they perform better, the quality of education will be improved. And for all of this to happen, there should be continuous professional development. Then innovation in teacher education. Okay, for what are the various methods that we are using in teacher education these days? The first one is flipped learning. Flipped learning. It is a teaching approach in which students learn concept through videos or reading. They read this at home and use classroom time for discussing, practice and problem solving. So they are not actually reading in the classroom, they are reading it at home, and whatever problems they faced or whatever discussions or whatever practice they need, all of that happens in the classroom, right? So it is a flipped method of teaching. Then you have blended learning. Blended learning. What is it? An instructional model that combines face-to-face classroom teaching with online learning activities to enhance students' learning outcomes and to give them a personalized learning, right? So these days, all the smart classrooms that we have, the teacher is teaching as well as they are watching the videos or whatever activities they are doing in the real time. So it is both, okay, face-to-face classroom teaching with online learning activities. Next you have virtual internships also. Virtual internships. So online or remote teaching practice programs where trainee teachers, what they do, they gain professional experience through digital classrooms and simulated teaching environment. So they are not actually in a teaching environment, it is kind of a simulation or digital classroom. By this they are gaining experience of teaching in a classroom. Okay. The last one is digital mentoring. Digital mentoring. What is this? It is a professional guidance system in which the experienced educators, they mentor the trainees or the in-service teachers through online platforms, video meetings or digital communication tools. So the more experienced teachers are providing training to the freshers or to in-service trainees, in-service teachers through digital modes. Okay. With this, we come to the end of this chapter. I hope you have understood what teacher education is and the various aspects that we looked into. Now let us try to answer a few MCQs to understand or to evaluate our understanding of the chapter. Question number 1. Shulman's PCK emphasizes integration of content and pedagogy, psychology and sociology, syllabus and exam pattern, research and development. The answer is content and pedagogy. In PCK, it is pedagogical content knowledge, right? Next, question number 2. Deng and Luke primarily highlighted that teacher knowledge is technical knowledge only, contextual and socially constructed, derived from textbooks, institutional frameworks. It is contextual and socially constructed. They both said that it is not technical knowledge only, but it is contextually and socially constructed. Next, emancipatory knowledge in Habermas theory promotes skill mastery, classroom efficiency, critical consciousness, curriculum planning. It promotes critical consciousness. Which agency regulates teacher education institutions? NCERT, NCTE, SCERT or UGC? It is teacher education institutions. So the answer is NCTE, National Council of Teacher Education. Next, question 5. Micro-teaching mainly belongs to inquiry model, humanistic model, behavioristic model or reflective model. It belongs to behavioristic model where we divide huge content into smaller skills for the teachers to learn and practice over and over again until they master it. Next, reflective teaching is best supported by skill drills, lesson scripting, teaching journals or lectures. Reflective teaching involves teacher journals, right? Next, question number 7. SSA stands for, this is easy, State School Association, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, Secondary Schools Authority, or School Standards Agency. It is Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. Question number 8. DITE stands for District Institute for Educational Training, District Institute of Education and Training, Development Institute of Educational Technology, Directorate of In-Service Education and Training. It is option B, District Institute of Education and Training. Next, question number 9. ICT integration benefits teaching mainly through replacing teachers, personalizing learning, increasing syllabus load, evaluation centralization. Yes, so it benefits teaching mainly through personalizing learning. The last question is inquiry-oriented model. The last question is inquiry-oriented model focuses on behavior formation, skill mastery, classroom research, or emotional growth. It is option number C, classroom research. Unit 4 brings us from teacher preparation to teacher professionalism, highlighting how knowledge, reflection, ethics, and innovation shape effective teachers. If this session helped your UGC NET preparation, please like, share, and subscribe to Eduquire. Your journey to NET success continues. See you in the next class on Unit 5, Curriculum Studies. Thank you.